with the latest being one of the bloggers, Ibrahim, that is Jjaja Ichuli, who was murdered in cold blood, as the leader of the House, representing all people in Uganda. We strongly condemn this kind of barbaric killing, which is being practiced on people. This kind of cowardice activity is not a very good one. We want to ask all the Ugandans not to take the law into their hands. We are all human beings. We have time to be born. We have time to die. Why would you go and kill a person? We may differ in terms of religion, politics, and whichever, but I don't think that is the best thing to do. No one has a right to take one's life under any circumstance. It's God that creates and God takes. There is only an ultimate end, that there's time to be born and time to die. We shouldn't be killed with a gun. And I think we really need to call all Ugandans that let's live, much as we may disagree, let's live in harmony. There are better ways of solving problems. You don't have to have an opponent or an enemy die in cold blood. I want to send my condolences to the family of Jjaja Ichuli, who died in cold blood, who was killed, and Parliament will stand with the people of Uganda and offer all its support with this unfortunate virus in our country. As we mourn the passing on of our brother, our colleague, our elder, our friend, Honorable Colonel Charles Engoola, I want to express a displeasure with unfortunate practice in this country where people celebrate the misfortune of those they don't agree with. It is inhuman. It is also uncultured and very immoral to celebrate the death of anyone because you hold different or divergent views. Beyond our different political, religious, and affiliations, we are all humans. First and foremost, we owe ourselves to be human to each other. It is normal to disagree and hold different views. But what binds us together is that we are all human beings. You don't need to kill me because I have disagreed with you. Because at one time I will die. Charles was there with us here. He has died. He didn't need to be killed. And I've always told people, you'll waste your energy killing me because you'll go to hell. Me, I will now go to heaven. Yes. Because when you start killing like that, and I want us to stand for a moment of silence in honor of our departed people, including Charles, Jjaja Ichuli, even the bodyguard. It's an appointed time for everything, and the time every affair under this heaven. There is time to be born and time to die. Charles was born, and now Charles has died. As a house, as a parliament, where Charles has been in the 11th parliament, and it so happened we used to be together still on the 10th parliament. We will miss Charles dearly. He has fought a good fight. To the bereaved family and the people of Oyam, I pray that may the good Lord comfort the family, the Ugandans, and the people of Oyam. We will continue praying for you. As 11th Parliament, I think we need to put too much prayers. We need to pray a little more. Within a short time, we've had bodies lying before us here. It's not an easy thing, but we leave it all to God. It's God that brought us here, and maybe God brought us here for a purpose. We'll continue praying for the family, and as Parliament, we'll continue supporting the family of the late. When you're a member of Parliament here, we become one family. We'll take you as part of our family. I have a condolence message here from the Parliament of Uganda, meaning it is from all of you. The Parliament of Uganda learned with profound shock and sadness of the demise of Honorable Colonel retired Charles Engola, the MP of Oyam North and the Minister of State for Gender, Labor and Social Development, which occurred on 2nd May 2023. It's extremely unfortunate that the late Honorable Charles Macdogo succumbed to a brutal assassination carried out by one of his guards. Honorable Charles Engoola was a disciplined, hardworking, honest, and a kind person. He contributed immensely to development of Uganda in his various responsibilities as a member of Parliament and a minister. Motion moved and will be seconded by the leader of opposition.
Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Vice President, honorable colleagues, I move under Rule 56 of our Rules of Procedure to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to pay tribute to the late Honorable Colonel Okello Charles Patrick Engola Machodogo for his dedicated and patriotic service to the Republic of Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, whereas Parliament received with deep sorrow the sad news of the demise of Honorable Colonel retired Okello Charles Patrick Engola Machodogo, which occurred in Jjaja, Kampala on 2nd May 2023, aware that Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Engola Machodogo had a distinguished career and served in various capacities in the military and political spheres, where he greatly contributed to the political, social, and economic transformation of Uganda, noting that Honorable Colonel retired Engola Charles served Uganda in the following key positions of responsibility. A, he was a Minister of State for Gender, Labor, and Social Development from 2021 to 2nd May 2023, was a Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs from the year 2016 to 2021. Was a Member of Parliament for Oyam Oyam North County, Oyam District, from the year 2016 to 2021. He was a local council 5 chairperson for Oyam District. Oyam, from 2006-2016, he was a commander of the Uganda People's Defense Forces for the 501 Brigade from the year 2005. Acknowledging that Honorable Colonel retired Engola Charles Machodogo served his country with patriotism, commitment, and a commander of Uganda People's Defense Forces 501 Brigade played a vital role in ensuring that peace and stability is realized in northern Uganda. Appreciating that Honorable Colonel retired Engola Charles significantly contributed to the social protection and transformation of Ugandan migrant workers abroad during his tenure in the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Now, therefore, be it resolved by this Parliament as follows. 1, that Parliament collectively conveys its deep condolences to the bereaved family, relatives, friends, and the people of Uganda for the loss of a distinguished son of this country, and that Parliament pays or takes cognizance of the significant contribution that the late Honorable Colonel retired Okero Machodogo rendered to his country. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister. Is the motion seconded?
On Tuesday, 2nd May this year, the country received sad news of the passing on of Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okero Engola Machodogo, the Minister of State for Labor, Employment and Industrial Relations, a Member of Parliament for Oyam North constituency since 2016, and a member of Lango Parliamentary Group. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Honorable Colonel Charles Patrick Engola Machodogo was born on 12 October 1958 to the late Rot Jogo Nasan Engola and Ketura Engola of Awang in Iseme Oyam district. The late Okero Charles Engola was the grandson of Rot Orong Odiro and the great grandson of Rot Orwa Aberi of Iseme village. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Honorable Charles Engola attended Atura Common Primary School from 1967 to 1973. He attended the Soroti Senior Secondary School from 1974 to 1978. Honorable Charles Engola attended Kampala International University from the year 2007 to 2010 and was awarded a Bachelor of Development Studies, and in 2013, he acquired a master's degree in Public Administration and Management from Kampala International University. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okero Engola Machodogo joined the Army in 1980 at a rank of private. He was later promoted to the rank of major and appointed the commanding officer 501 Brigade based in Opit Guru. He was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and maintained as a commanding officer 501 Brigade. In 2006, he was promoted to the rank of Colonel and retired from the Army. The Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Honorable Colonel retired Charles Engoola joined politics in the year 2006 and was elected the LOC 5 for Apache district till when Oyam district was created. From the year 2011 to 2016, he was the LOC 5 chairperson for Oyam district. From the year 2016 to 2021, Honorable Colonel Charles Engoola, retired, was elected Member of Parliament for Oyam North constituency, and in the same period, he served as a Minister of State for Defense and Veteran Affairs. From 2021 to the time of his demise, Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okero Engoola Machodogo was the Minister of State, Employment and Industrial Relations. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Honorable Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okero Engoola Machodogo was married to Mrs. Joyce Okero Engoola and were blessed with children, that is Sharon, Agwang Okero, Samuel Engoola, and Daniel, Frank, Okaka, and Fen Brian. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Charles Engoola answered the highest call of serving his country as a professional soldier. He was a war hero and played a fundamental role in the pacification of the northern part of this country against LRA insurgency, and acquired the name Machodogo, meaning fire has returned. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2019, Honorable Colonel Charles Patrick Okero Engoola Machodogo, as the State Minister for Defense, led a team of Ugandan members of Parliament to Abiska forward operating base in Somalia, where they interacted with the UPDF troops and the local leadership. Right Honorable Speaker, Colonel retired Charles Patrick Okero Engoola Machodogo served this country as a humble servant, fearless warrior with utmost honesty. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we convey condolences to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, the entire government of Uganda, the people of Rango sub-region, the family and friends. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, may the Almighty God rest his soul in perfect peace.
Thank you so much for the motion.
Join the Right Honourable Prime Minister in seconding the motion to pay tribute to a fallen son of the land of our ancestors and a very faithful servant of his people. Right Honourable Speaker, we can never get used to death, and death is such a shameless event that again has robbed us of a prominent Ugandan, retired Colonel Charles Engoola, former State Minister for Labor, Employment and Industrial Relations. On my own behalf, and on behalf of the alternative government, I convey my deepest sympathies to the bereaved family, the people of Oyam North, the people of Lango sub-region, the Parliament of Uganda, and the people of Uganda for this unfortunate loss. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, this is particularly true in light of the life about the foreign colonel well enumerated, a life intently lived for a service as a gallant soldier who has not only made a contribution to the legislation process of this country, but has also served in various capacities as an army officer, district leader, and as a minister. It is sad that retired Colonel Charles Engoola has passed on at a critical time when he are yet to conclusively deal with the regulation of labor externalization that was so close to his heart. We nonetheless are cognizant of his contribution when he took a decisive stance in cancelling licenses of non-compliant labor agents. He was courageous, and we applaud him for that courage. Let Honourable Speaker and colleagues, the death brings to light a sacrifice made in the past as the command of the UPDF 501 Brigade, where retired Colonel Charles Engoola played a pivotal role in containing the LLA and restoring peace in northern Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, today's sitting as we pay tribute to a fallen comrade and colleague, we are reminded of a similar sitting we had in the 10th Parliament, those of us who are here, following the gruesome murder of the late Honourable Ibrahim Abiriga and his bodyguard in June 2018. Today's case might be a little different, since the bodyguard who allegedly assassinated the honourable colleague also took his life immediately. The invitation I am making, Right Honourable Speaker, to this August House is that we should not have closed our mind to the various murders of ordinary and high-profile Ugandans, like the late John Kagezi, the IGP Andrew Felix Kawes, several Muslim clerics, among others, that we have witnessed since 2016. Right Honourable Speaker, 2 days after Honourable Kero's gruesome murder, another Ugandan, Ibrahim Tusubira, Jjaja Ichuli, like you have mentioned and observed ably, was gunned down within the same neighborhood of the foreign minister. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to draw the attention of this House back to the address of the President that he delivered on 20th June 2019, in which he outlined a 9-point strategy intended to deal and defeat with insecurity in the country. I will particularly single out his directive to install security cameras across the country and the fingerprinting of all legal arms in the country. Right Honourable Speaker, the directives were followed with a supplementary budget allocation of more than 376 billion. But unfortunately, the killings did not stop, and they have not stopped. Nor have the cameras been effective in detecting the criminals, which explains why the state has not yet succeeded in prosecuting any of the cases in court. Right Honourable Speaker, strangely, even the cases that have happened under the cameras, like one of February 2020, when a police truck deliberately knocks dead Rita Nabu Kenya, we are not captured. Are these real cameras or dummies? Right on the speaker. Right on the speaker. Police, and the police have turned there with another request of 187 billion for the next financial year to buy more of these malfunctional cameras. Right on the speaker. We are only lucky that the gunman who took our honorable colleague's life killed himself. But had he disappeared, the investigating officers would be feeding the country on a litany of explanations like they do when asked about the extent of investigation into the previous killings and the May 2021 assassination plot against General Katumba Wamala, the Minister for Works and Transport. One wonders if all guns were fingerprinted right on the speaker, as indicated by the security budget requests, whose gun is being used to kill Ugandans? Whose gun was used to kill Ichuli? At least we know whose gun killed our honorable colleague, which is very, very sad, right on the speaker. Right on the speaker, by now, sense of the circumstances and events surrounding the gruesome murder of retired Colonel Charles Engoola, with the hope that we can find answers over time to some of the unexplained murders in this country. First, the death of retired Colonel Charles Engoola could have been preventable if it is held that prior to his transfer to his security detail, Private Sabiti was Captain Mike Mkula's bodyguard. However, owing to his questionable behavior, his behavioral disposition and temperament, Captain Mkula raised a red flag to the deploying authorities, causing his withdrawal. It is quite disturbing that an officer of questionable character was redeployed before full rehabilitation. Right on the speaker, these are confessions from his commanders that had a checkered disciplinary record. And all they could do is redeploy to a very sensitive leader in this country. Not that any Ugandan is any less important, but that deployment is questionable and probably a point of investigation. Right on the speaker, ironically, the death of our colleague and his bodyguard has occurred in the month of May, in which we celebrate the International Labour Day. The month is also internationally dedicated to mental awareness. It is therefore a clarion call upon us to rise to the occasion and evoke our mandate to the two sometimes dictated issues now at stake by over-applying our tools of legislation. Right on the speaker, there has been talk of unprecedented enumeration on part of the Eringo bodyguard. We don't seek to justify his conduct and decision in any way. We think it's time to dust the debate on the minimum wage, which has sprawled on the fence for a long time. Right on the speaker, and honorable colleagues, Uganda is ranked among the top 6 countries in Africa in rates of depressive and anxiety disorders. According to statistics from the World Health Organization, close to 20%, that's about 6.8 million Ugandans out of the 42 million people in Uganda, have some degrees of mental illness, ranging from anxiety and depression to severe mental illness. This should be a wake-up call to the government to scale up investment in mental health and subsequently increase access to mental health services. Right on the speaker, our armed forces are extremely vulnerable. They are never at rest. If not in Somalia, they are in Congo. If not in Congo, they are in the South Sudan. If not there, in ECOMO. If not there, they are on the streets beating voters and Ugandans. Where are the UPDF rehabilitation centers for these officers and men? The Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker and comrades, that I conclude. The murder of our brother, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Engoola, calls for a candid conversation on the quality of inquest in this country, with the many unanswered questions that ought to be exhaustively interrogated here. It is time we invoked the Inquest Act for this and many unresolved murders and deaths that have occurred over the years. The police should this time around and for once surprise the nation with a conclusive and believable report on the murder of our colleague. It's not enough to say that we know the murderer, the killer. No, that's not a report. So we need a believable report this time around as a surprise from the police. Right, Honourable Speaker, this unfortunate death should also remind the nation of one of the unresolved challenges of our armed forces since independence, namely, who is recruited? What is the mode of recruitment? What is the mode of training and deployment? This House has processed citizens' complaints relating to biased recruitment in both the police and the UPDF. Probably some of the men and women in uniform shooting our people do not deserve our uniform. You've heard the concept of receive and train in the armed forces. People are supposed with questionable and checkered history, because they are sent on a sheet of paper, they are recruited. This information has been here on the floor. We must take concern. Finally, Honourable Speaker, to some of the citizens, the manner of their recruitment of these men and women in uniform makes them believe that they pay allegiance to those who recommend them, not the flag. This is the time to rethink and address this serious gap that has served to undermine the quality of our armed forces. Honourable Speaker, I would like to again send my sympathies to the family and encourage you that your father has not died in vain. He's played his part. May the soul of our departed colleague rest in eternity. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honourable Mental Health. And we wouldn't mind if you started with us in Parliament. Dean of Independence, Honourable Zijan.
To pay tribute to the late Honourable Colonel Retired Okello Charles Patrick Engola March Odwogo for his dedicated and patriotic service to the Republic of Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, today we celebrate a life of a man who lived for more than just himself or his immediate family. We celebrate a man whose life was about the triumph of those who would have been triumphed over and trampled upon. March Odwogo, the fire has come back. He adopted this name. He was given this name, which he also adopted, because it gave him joy and satisfaction to see women back into their homes, lighting fires to cook for their families after the war. This should be the essence of living, to make the world a better place to be. If the coward had lived by the same principle, March Odwogo would still be here with us. March Odwogo would not be in a casket right now. But because the man who pulled the trigger against him did not live for making the world a better place to be, we are here today in this situation. The lesson we can draw from his life and dedication is that we should always aspire to live for more than just ourselves. May his soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you. Where you're seated was like you. And tomorrow, we are going to be like him. I want us to debate with the dignity, with respect to the dead and to the family. I plead with you not to say anything that may hurt the family in any other way, because he used to be like us, and we will be like him. May I now open the door.
Being too militant in drawing your attention, Right Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues.
Meanwhile, we missed you. We wanted you to lay the wreath for DP, but it's good you've now come.
Calling, that of a soldier. A soldier stands between the enemy and the people he or she has sworn to protect. A soldier stays awake in order that the people may sleep. A soldier risks death in order that the people may live. To keep the peace, a soldier goes to war. Our fallen colleague was a true soldier in the true sense of the word. Come with me to the stretch between the Karuma Falls Bridge, that gateway to northern Uganda. The LRA was very active in the areas between that area and the border of Sudan. Witnessed the long lines of vehicles of all types slowly driving north, armored vehicles at the head of the convoy and at the rear, some others in the middle, protecting. Columns of soldiers marched on foot on either side of the convoy. The professionals tell me that they were marching at a distance of at least 400 meters, which is said to be the effective range of a rifle, putting themselves between the rebels and the people. The LRA had put a ban on anyone lighting a fire. The penalty for lighting a fire was death. Our fallen colleague took it upon himself to effectively defy the cruel order of the rebels. He mounted several operations which pushed the rebels away from that area. He then announced that the ban on fire was over and the people were free to light fire again and stop eating raw food. The people gave him what in Luo is called Nying Pak, which means a praise name, Macho Duogo, meaning fire has returned. To the family, we are not here to pity you. We are here to comfort you. Even as we comfort you, we know how difficult it is for our feeble words to comfort you. This is more so because the absence of your now departed loved one will be a constant reminder of the happiness you shared while he lived. Remember that we are not merely here to say sorry for your loss. We are here to say we share your loss. For Honorable Engola had transcended the boundary of his family and his community. He belonged to the wider family we all call Uganda. He never once dishonored his uniform. Friends, it's not only Private Sabiti who dishonored his uniform. Anybody in uniform, whether police, prisons, UPDF, who acts outside the law, who unleashes excessive violence on an armed civilian, dishonors the UPDF uniform. You don't have to kill a Ugandan to dishonor the uniform. That was rather extreme. but let it be said that it is today that we must express our high expectations of our armed forces. In closing, Madam Speaker, I call for a national reflection on the hate-mongering that dominates public discourse, especially when a prominent public servant dies. There are those who have decided to specialize in lighting fires of discontent in the populace. It is up to us to distill the torrents of venomous outbursts and discern what lies underneath. It's our responsibility to understand that for every effect there is a cause. Responsibility means ability to respond. It is our collective duty as leaders to respond to the outrage being expressed whenever the reasonable expectations of the people are ignored. I call for humility, such as the Honorable Engola expressed. You have heard the praise his colleagues have given him. Some of us, even with little achievements, climb the tallest tree to extol our own achievements. I never once heard Honorable Engola praise himself, but you have heard for the first time how he fought in Congo, in Sudan, making our army proud. I call for civility. We need a new culture of civilized discourse, and it must be expressed above all here, the people's house. It is here where the sovereignty of the people is expressed. I listened to a tape, a recording of the late Brigadier Noble Mayombo, who gave the UPDF its name in the CA. And he said the mission of the UPDF is the protection of the people, to defend the people. And he called it forces to allow for its expansion. I also call upon the UPDF and all the other sister forces to reflect upon their mission. Madam Speaker, our role is state building. State building is not a partisan task. It demands the joining of hands. It demands that we talk to each other and listen to each other. This country is hurting, Madam Speaker. We need to repent to those we have wronged and to forgive those who have wronged us. Only true reconciliation can secure our collective future. We are all in the same boat as Ugandans. You may think you have a plan B, but there is no country B. Madam Speaker, there is no safe house, there is no safe room in a burning house. Let's keep Uganda safe from any fire. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Democratic Party Whip.